So in our videos today, again, we're going to be looking at the idea of how can we continue to make money as we are working or as we're in college. How can we keep an income of money? And then we're going to get into those education options for the 21st century. So we're going to watch these two videos. Again, you should have your book out, and you're starting on page 112. Our notes are going to start on page 112 in your book.
Scholarships you don't have to pay back. Student loans you do.
Scholarships, you're given money, but loans people lend you money and you have to pay it back.
They're basically it's like a reward.
Scholarships you earn by being good in school or at a sport, and loans you just get paid to do it.
The scholarships are just giving you money for like your strength if you're really good at doing something or you're in a sport, but the loans you're going to have to eventually pay off, which catches up a lot of people.
Scholarships depend on like how well of a student you are and what your activities are sometimes, and money that you don't have to pay for. And loans, you have to pay it back with interest too.
In order to make the most of cash flow in college, you've got to hone in on the specifics, like filling out your financial paperwork, researching scholarships and grants, and finding a part-time job. First up is the FAFSA, or the Free Application for Federal Student Aid. The FAFSA is your first step of receiving any kind of money for college. You can get started on the FAFSA as soon as your parents submit their tax information at the beginning of your spring semester of your senior year. That means you can fill them out as early as January or February, and the sooner the better, because some federal funding is awarded on a first-come, first-served basis. So don't forget to file your FAFSA early. Filling out the FAFSA helps the government determine how much need your family has when it comes to paying for college. Based on what they find, you'll be awarded student loans and possibly grants. Remember, student loans are bad news. Make sure you ask that student loans be removed from your funding. Grants, on the other hand, are golden. Federal grants, such as the Pell Grant, are free money that never have to be paid back, unless, for example, you withdraw from school. But double check with your college's financial aid office. Most states offer other grants as well. Another form of free money is scholarships. We talked about how to get good grades and high scores on your ACT or SAT. That helps you get scholarships. But there are plenty more ways we haven't mentioned. Your college or university probably offers scholarships for things like being on a sports team, past volunteer experience, leadership roles, ethnicity, religion, or your college major. Some community-based organizations like the Rotary Club offer college scholarships. Also, local businesses offer them for children of employees or employees themselves. Of course, you can also search online to find countless scholarships, ranging from silly to serious. Now, you might have to write an essay, which sounds time-consuming, but think about it. If you just spend 1 hour writing an essay that earns you a $500 scholarship, that's like 50 times the amount that you can make working 1 hour at a part-time job. The bottom line is this: applying for scholarships will make a dent in your college costs. If you get stuck at any point in the process, just stop by your college's financial aid office. You can always check out our tools and resources on foundationsu.com. Once you've chosen your school and have scholarships and grants rolling in, you may be all set. If not, that means there's still a little bit more work to be done. Okay, you might be thinking, isn't college supposed to be fun? Nobody said anything about working on top of school. Okay, hear me out. Did you know that 78% of freshmen plan to work during their college years? And students who work up to 20 hours a week earn higher grades than students who don't work at all? That's because working helps you develop good time management skills, which directly translates to your classes. Now, you can find jobs off campus that offer flexible schedules for students in a variety of roles. Or you can work on campus in the library, the rec center, as a tour guide or a resident assistant. Some on-campus jobs can pay you directly, while others pay towards your tuition. Of course, the best way to be smart with your money is to follow the 5 foundations. That's because 8 out of 10 students who drop out of college drop out due to money. And if you do your research, apply for grants and scholarships, work while you're in college, have an emergency fund, and stick to your budget, you can be a student without a student loan and graduate debt-free.
Thanks for listening, America. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Next on the phones is Sarasota, Florida. Jim is calling. Hey, Jim, what's going on, man?
Hey, Dave. What's wrong with using student loans to help pay for college? Aren't loans okay as long as they're a good investment?
Well, I do agree with you, Jim, that a college education is a good investment because what you're really investing in is in you and in your future. We teach people to stay away from debt, period. And that certainly includes student loans. And the reason is your risk is increased. Here's the problem, Jim. Of the people that go to college, only 52 to 57% graduate. That means almost half the people that go to college with student loan debt come out without the degree and with the debt. Major problem. See, that equals risk. And you can't believe how many 32-year-olds I have talked to who are still struggling to pay off their student loan debt 10 years after college. And their student loan debt is dictating to them the type of career they can have because they can't afford to go out and do that job they want to do or open that business they want to open because they're stuck paying this loan. It saps the life out of you. And so while it sounds real sophisticated and real cool to call student loan debt good debt, it's really not, dude. Choose your college carefully to where you can afford to pay cash while you work your way through with your parents' help and getting scholarship help and those kinds of things. Thanks for the call.
All right, and so as I said, kind of in that one, I kind of talked about that a little bit before. With that FAFSA, remember you're going to get some different options. You want to make sure that you go after grants and scholarships. There's other ones on there that are loans. You don't want those loans. Those are you're gonna be paying those back for a long time. The student loans, they give you a long time to pay them off, almost as much as a mortgage, like a 15-year mortgage. Generally, that's your payoff time is 15 years. And so you're stuck paying for that college for a long time. And so go after grants and scholarships. There's all different types of scholarships as we talked about. Locally, we have different things like Lions Clubs, or the VFW always does one, although that one might already be up. But you want to make sure that you find all of those loans. Check with your parents where they work. Do they offer loans for theirs? Or do they offer scholarships for you? And then also it talked about, getting a job as well. You can sometimes get a job on campus. Sometimes they'll call it a work study. If it's a work study, that generally you don't get that money right in your pocket. It just goes, all that you make goes towards your tuition. And there's tons of things that you can do if you're at a college campus. Even at MCC, there's a lot of things. I know that one of the things that when my wife was at MCC, she worked in an office, and when she had downtime, she was able to work on her classes, and they worked around her schedule. So if she had a class in the middle of her shift, she was able to go to her class and then just go right back to work when she got done with it. And so there's a lot of different things that you can do while you're on college campuses, no matter the size of the campus.
We've talked a ton about going to college, but maybe you don't feel like college is right for you. And hey, that's okay. There are alternatives to getting a 4-year degree, and many of them can lead to a great career. Before you make the decision not to attend college, I want to encourage you to do something. Ask yourself why you don't feel like college is right for you, and be honest with your answer. It may help for you to talk with your parents or an adult that you trust. You might realize that you're just like the rest of us, a little scared of the unknown. You know, what will the first day be like? Or what if I can't make the grades? Those worries are totally normal, and most of them will be old news by the second week of college. But maybe you'll discover that college really isn't right for you. If that's the case, there's something you've got to know. A great career won't just happen. It must be built with a solid plan. And no, that plan doesn't include living with your parents in their basement, hoping to meet a lovely lady who'll take over cooking and cleaning duties from your mom. It just doesn't work that way. So let's talk about a few options for your plan. First, there's trade school. Trade schools teach basic professional skills in 2 years or less. Local employers often seek out trade school graduates to fill open entry-level positions. You can also earn a certification or find ways to self-educate in your field of interest. Many community colleges, government programs, and online organizations offer free or low-cost certifications for a specific skill set. You can enhance your education by attending conferences, reading websites, books, or magazines related to your career of choice. Keep in mind that self-education requires a ton of motivation and resourcefulness. In some careers, you can even take advantage of on-the-job training or apprenticeship. You can learn by actually doing the work and using your hands instead of reading from a textbook. You can also earn an associate's degree that will allow you to begin your career right after graduation. These programs are often called Associate of Science degrees and don't require you to take any general courses taught in 4-year universities. That means that your classes may not transfer if you decide to get a 4-year degree later. Your advisor should be able to tell you which programs will transfer and which ones don't. If you're confident that a 2-year degree is what you're looking for, you can quickly enter into fields like nursing, cardiovascular technology, criminal justice, and many more. Or maybe you'd like to start your own business. If you choose to go to college first, you'll learn the vital skills like how to interact with others in a business setting, manage a team, track the company finances, and actually turn a profit. Pretty important stuff, right? But maybe you feel like you've got the passion and the know-how needed to open up a business right now, and that's awesome. Having confidence like that will take you a long way in life. But I also want you to be realistic. If you plan to start a business without a college education, make sure you're constantly learning from others who have started and ran successful businesses themselves. Everyone is different, and thank goodness, right? So it's totally okay if your life after high school doesn't look the same as your friends. What's not okay is settling because of uncertainties. If you're willing to put in the work, then you've got what it takes to conquer your fears and reach your dreams. Don't let anything hold you back from reaching your potential.
No, because I know I can still save up for it and go.
Yes, because you need money to get a good college.
It has before, but thinking about it, it shouldn't.
Well, I'm gonna go to college no matter what. I guess money is a big part though, because I don't want to have a bunch of loans.
I guess you could say yes, but I've always worked hard and aimed for a scholarship, and my parents have really helped me on that too.
No, actually not really, because there's 3 colleges I was looking at before I signed, and all of them were full rides, so I guess not.
I know that for sure I'm going to college. I just know I have to work at it a little bit harder. I have to get more scholarship money.
Hopefully you see that when it comes to college and life in general, debt is not the answer. We've shown you tons of ways to get an awesome college education without ever touching student loans. Yes, that might mean working a full-time job in the summer and part-time during college. You may have to apply for every scholarship and grant out there. You may need to babysit a few whiny kids or mow your neighbor's lawn. But trust me, the 25-year-old version of yourself will thank you. Graduating from college and working that first real job and holding that first real paycheck feels so much better when it's all yours, when it's not going out to student loan payments. The decisions you make in the next 4 years can affect you for the next 40 years of your life. If you avoid debt, you'll have the freedom to go after your dreams in a powerful way. I talk a lot about changing your family tree, and that's my dream for this generation. Maybe you've grown up in a house where debt is a way of life. It would be easy for you to continue the cycle. You could accept student loans and sign up for a credit card before you ever graduate from high school. But now you know another way. I travel across the country talking to teens and college students, and I love seeing that many of them are making the right choice. They're working hard, saving money, avoiding loans, and taking responsibility for their future. It's incredible. I've met 23-year-olds graduating from college with no debt, and I'm telling you, their life is wide open. A little patience and sacrifice now will set you up for huge amounts of peace and joy later, and not just in your lifetime either. Your choice to avoid debt means your future spouse, kids, and family will enjoy the same lasting peace for generations to come.
Jake is with us. He's 20 years old in Houston, Texas, a sophomore in college. Hey, Jake, what's up?
Hey, Dave, not much. Hey, I've saved all I can for next semester, and my tuition's due next week, and I don't have enough money for it all. So I need your help to know if I should stay at school or if I should avoid going into debt.
Well, number one, anytime you pose two possible answers as the only two possible answers to a question, especially to try to box me into a corner, that's not a wise thing. That tells me you haven't done your work. Number one, we know you didn't do your work because you're not ready to pay for your tuition. Number two, you haven't looked for enough other options. You're trying to pose to me that there's only two options. I can't finish school unless Dave Ramsey says it's okay to go in debt. Well, that's a fatalistic approach, and that's trash, dude. That's just wrong. Now, what am I saying? I'm saying if I'm in your shoes, I'm 20 years old, I'm going to say, A, I'm not borrowing money. Dave, you're telling him not to go back to school. No, I'm not. Listen. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to be in there in financial aid's office. I'm going to be in the counselor's office. I'm going to be talking to the dean of the college. I'm going to be talking to some local businesses to support me and help me get going. I'm going to ask for an advance over at work if you're already working, and I hope you are. And I'm going to have done a whole bunch of other ideas to find money. There's a lot, sell your car, I don't know. If you really want to go to school, you'll find a way. Let's just pretend for a second student loans didn't exist. What would you do then, dude? Find a way. It's exactly what you'd do. Do I want you to quit school? No. I want you to go finish school. But I also want you to increase your ability to make decisions better than you've done.
If a student finds that their financial situation has changed, a parent has been laid off from their job, or there's been some sort of medical situation that has arisen with the parent or the student, it's important that they come into the financial aid office and sit down with a financial aid counselor and let that counselor find out what's taking place, because it's possible that their financial aid could be reevaluated and that their grant or scholarship could be increased to help them because of this particular situation.
With so many options for life after high school, you've got the opportunity to create an awesome educational experience, one that allows you to follow your passions and develop your skills. Above all else, remember this: your education is an investment in you, so commit to being a lifelong learner. One of the best ways to do this is to read. Read books that are fun and entertaining, but be sure to also read books that challenge you. You can read biographies on great leaders and discover exactly what made them great. Or you can read books about specific topics where you'd like to excel. Learning really is fun when you're excited about what you're learning.
And I want to stop right here on this screen. Remember, we've been talking that of those foundations, the fourth one is to pay cash for college. And with that, we've kind of talked about a lot of different ways how you can do that. Either it's a scholarship, grant, saving up when you're younger, getting a part-time job, working through the summer. And then the other thing that we talked about in kind of at the beginning of this lesson is not all careers require a 4-year degree. And that's kind of what I've really been talking about a lot. Just because you don't have to go to college. Maybe you just want to go to a trade school. MCC offers those programs. There's also other things that you might not think of as a college, but it's a trade school. So if you want to become a diesel mechanic or anything, or a mechanic of some sort, you can go to school to become one of those. You can get certified being a welder, or get your CDL license through a trade school like MCC. The key thing is to begin planning now. We're getting embarked on when those FAFSAs can start being completed, which is in January. And remember, if you are kind of thinking about college, that you might want to get started on that sooner than later, because some of them are first come, first serve. And what I want to do now is head on over to, let's see, we're going to head on over to Schoology. Let me get a Schoology page pulled up. And your assignment for today is on here. Now you're going to use some tools that are listed here. So it's the cost of living calculator. This is our assignment. And once you get logged in, so you're going to be using two things. You're going to be using this cost of living calculator, and you're going to be using the on versus off campus calculator. These are under tools. The first scenario, for scenario 1 and 2, you're going to use the on off campus. So you'll see this link on Schoology. And it'll have these tools. It actually has a lot more tools than we need. We need the on off campus living for the first one. You're going to put in your state, and it's going to kind of calculate some differences for you based on the scenarios that are listed. So this one's going to be in Florida and how much it costs. And then the next one that you're going to do is this cost of living calculator. And that's going to be for scenario 3. The things that you need to fill in are all these boxes. And remember, if you complete this by the end of the today, you will receive bonus points. So that's for if you complete it by Monday, December 14th by 2:43.